Ah, welcome, my intrepid explorer, to the grand finale of Week 1, or as some might call it, Day 4. I must confess, you've performed surprisingly well. For a human, that is. Today, we're going to add a touch more complexity and a dash more brilliance to your drowning nightlight. We're fixing the storage room and cockpit lights so you won't have to grope around like a lost mole rat any longer. We're still under an ocean, you're getting cold, and the night is dark and full of scampi. We've a problem. Yes, another one. The hydroponic system that filters your breathable atmosphere needs more light to photosynthesize, soak up your bad breath, and turn it into O2. We need to get the rest of these dip switch circuits operating before whatever's out there starts looking at us like a can of spaghetti. First things first, the hardware. Notice how we've added a couple of LEDs and some extra wires for our dip switch? Don't start flipping switches just yet, though. Without proper instructions in your code, they'll just stare back at you with the cold, lifeless gaze of purposeless tech. And that brings us to our code, our all-important guide to technological obedience. We're defining 6 new variables that will tell us which pins are pulling their weight in the circuit. In the setup function, we'll use the pin mode function to designate switches as inputs and LEDs as outputs. Finally, we'll march into the loop function and create 3 if statements, our conditional knights in shining armor. They'll relay the status of the 3 dip switches. So, my brave explorer, are you ready to turn our ship bright enough to lure all manner of prey and predators in this unexplored ocean? I know, I'm excited too. Once you've finished wiring, upload your new code to the hero and let there be light. You know the drill. Let's turn to some instructional material I was able to gather cached on the computer. And you guessed it, I've also added this to your mission resources for future reference. I'll see you soon.
Welcome back to the coding and wiring portion of this adventure. I'm so excited for today. It's going to start to look very messy on the breadboard, and a lot of things are going to be happening. So what we're going to be doing today, as stated before, is we're going to be adding 2 more additional lights and adding more functionality to the dip switch here. Now I'm going to challenge you. Pause the video now and see if you can do this without my help. So go ahead, and essentially it's just repeating the circuit, 2 more times. Pick for the LEDs 11 and 10, and then for the dip switch 3 and 4 as the other 2. So again, 2 more LEDs, 1 to 11, 1 to 10, and 2 more on the dip switch, 2, 3, and 4. I'll be here waiting for you when you get back. Go ahead and pause the video now and try it yourself. And for those who don't want to do that, let's go ahead and just start wiring this up. And I'm going to show you how it's done from my perspective. So I'm just going to go, it's easy as this. We're just going to repeat the circuit. This is going to look pretty much the same. We'll move this over 1. This is where it gets really satisfying. I gotta get resistors up in here. There's my resistor. All right, there we go. 220. Can I? Wow, look at that. I can just copy and paste. That is pretty gnarly. All right, so we're going to take this, go here, and then we're going to use the same colors. You really shouldn't. I guess we'll change it up. We'll go green. That way, for debugging purposes, it'd be easier to see the wires. All right, and now this is going to look a little messy, so what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to redo this 5 volts, and I'm going to go all the way up here to the top. It's just going to make it a little bit cleaner when we do this stuff, because what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go straight in from up here. 1, 2, 3. And then that can stay the same. I'll take the resistor again, copy, paste, and yeah, it's going to be kind of tough to see, but that's why we use colors. So I'm going to take the color, we're going to switch this one to purple, and then this one to pink. And it looks a little reversed here and a little messy. That's okay. So essentially 1 is going to go to 2, which is the lower count of everything. And then this 2 is going to go to 3. 3 is going to go to 4. So really it's just +1 on everything. And it's wired up. Hopefully, when you pause the video and you came back, it looks something like this. And if not, go ahead and quickly make those changes without me noticing real fast. Because now we're getting into the coding side of things. And again, if you are very brave, you can go ahead and do this without me. Again, it should be simple. You're just kind of repeating the code again and again. And I'm going to try to use copy and paste as much as possible because I am the lazy programmer out of the bunch, and that's how I'm going to do things. So we're going to take cabin lights pin. And then we're going to change this. Instead of cabin lights, we're going to put one for the storage room. And then instead of cabin lights here, we're going to do one for the bathroom because I like lights in the bathroom. Makes things a little bit easier. Okay. So, and as we're changing this up, we're going to keep cabin lights to 12, but we're going to put our storage lights down to 11 and bathroom lights down to 10. That way, it's not all the same pin. Obviously, we changed it to 12, 11, 10 in our wiring. And I'm going to go ahead and change the comments here just to make it easy. And then, again, I'm going to use copy and paste as much as possible here. And we're going to set this to storage lights. And this is a little bit different. So we're going to keep switch 1 to our cabin. Switch 1 here and pin 2. Pin 3. Gonna go to the next one, and pin 4 is the last one we used. Switch for the light, switch for the light. Technically, we should redo this, but I'm lazy, as we stated earlier. And next is going into the setup. So we need to declare all these as outputs for our extra lights. And then we're gonna go up here. I can take this name, copy it here. Take this name, copy it here. We're going to do the same for our inputs. There really is power in using copy and paste because a lot of the times that it doesn't compile is because of a small typo where you mistype storage or cabin, and that's usually where my errors come in. So I like to use copy and paste. It just makes it easier. And now what we're going to do for this part is to not complicate it. Hopefully you guys were able to also do this in your own discovery. But again, we're just going to take this and we're going to switch it for each one of them. So we want to take storage lights right here. So I'm going to actually make this a little bit easier for me to read because now it's getting kind of complicated. Cabin lights. And then we need this one for storage. That way I can make sure that everything's said correctly. No, it's last one, bathroom lights. Really important. We cannot forget the bathroom lights. They're very important. So I can really just change the text here. We put caps lock on. There is power in being lazy, people. So hopefully this worked right. So we got cabin lights, which should be this one right here. Storage lights here. And the bathroom lights, which is right here. Now, I could go through all this and see where I possibly messed up. Or I could just hit start simulation. And we're going to turn on switch 1. And light is on. Same with 2, 3. Okay, so it looks like it's working perfectly. We can turn them all on. We can... 4 is not going to do anything. Yeah, you can have fun with it. All right, awesome. Now, I am still extremely concerned about your battery life, and honestly, it's not going to get better because now we have a bunch of lights that we're just going to keep playing around with, and this is going to drain things really fast. So, that being said, let's quickly get to the next lesson. See you then.